Good morning. You find me sitting here in my jumper, which I don't often do, but I have to say it is somewhat chilly outside today, so please forgive the fact that I am looking somewhat casual. Now, it is Friday, so it is the day on which we hand out some commendations. We haven't been that terribly long, so we haven't got a whole host of commendations this morning, but I do have a few. Mr. Philp, absolutely ahead of the game as ever, gets his commendations for the first week in. And what we will do is we will hand out commendations every Friday and any other awards or certificates that we might have. So here we go. End of the first few days of term. We have commendations for the following. Rishi I, these are all in year 2, for his holiday science work, an amazing solar system poster, so very well done to Rishi. Rohan K for some holiday writing work. Now it's important that we do, even though we are working remotely online and all the rest of it, it is important that we occasionally do some writing. So let's make sure we don't forget, please, to use a pencil occasionally. Rui Y, Science, a great poster produced in this week's online learning, so well done to Rui. Dylan H for Science, an excellent slideshow. My goodness, doing all this in year 2, that's absolutely fantastic. Now then, we also have a commendation for Tristan F for some lovely English work, and perhaps, I think, if you can ever separate out the importance of commendations, perhaps the 2 most important commendations of the first week back, they go to Samuel K and they go to Hugo B, both for absolutely setting the standards when it comes to behaviour. Now that's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Because we are here, some of us, gathered at school, and there are rather a lot of us gathered at school, lots of teachers and children of key workers, and we have to follow some pretty strict rules these days to keep us all safe. Now, the rules don't exist for our convenience, they exist for everyone's safety. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that we are doing exactly as we are expected to do. So I commend Samuel and Hugo for setting the standards. And actually, doing the right thing isn't terribly difficult. And if it earns you a commendation and praise along the way, then goodness me, that must be the easiest way to earn a commendation that exists. But well done to all of you, and I'm delighted to see whether it be remote or whether it be face-to-face experiences, that we are beginning to hand out some commendations this term. Now, as we look ahead, just 1 or 2 points of admin. First one for the parents. We have, thank you very much, the submissions for the Parents Association AGM, and I'm pleased to announce that the AGM was just about correct. We just about had enough responses in to make the AGM binding. And I'm pleased to announce that the accounts were adopted and the committee was re-elected, and I'll be liaising with the Parents Association committee in due course as we try to come up with some sort of plan for the coming academic year, and we sincerely hope at some point we'll be able to get going later on in the academic year with 1 or 2 activities. And I do also note, Parents Association, you've got a fair few quid in the bank, so you might well find that I approach you in due course with 1 or 2 ideas of how that might be allocated. In terms of the online learning process that so many of us are involved in. We've used this week as a bit of an experiment almost to try and establish what works and what works less well. Certainly live lessons are, I think, key to an awful lot of what goes on. So what you will find during the coming days and weeks is an emphasis on live lessons, and it will be blended with perhaps a small number of pre-recorded lessons. And I warn you here and now, Year 5, that I pre-recorded some magnificent 11 plus VR and non-VR lessons in the summer, which absolutely do not deserve to be consigned to history. So I'm delighted to have the opportunity to let them see the light of day again. So I'll be using some of those, for example. And we will also, parents, as you will perhaps already have established, we will of course occasionally send some worksheets, books, etc. home, which will complement what is going on in the classroom, so that we can make sure that whether the boys are on site or whether they are working remotely, they are getting exactly the same work to do and the same provision. And to help everyone along with that, we will reinstate the learning platform that we used in the summer. The boys will be told all about this, and it does mean that on a Sunday evening, when you have absolutely nothing else to do because we are all cooped up at home, you'll be able to gather around the log fire, put on the laptop and have a look at the learning platform so you know what the coming week has in store. What better way could you possibly think of to spend a winter Sunday evening? All of that is to come. In the meantime, I sincerely hope you all have a good day and a decent weekend.